Hi everyone, we're continuing with chapter 14, going over bonds and long-term notes. And first we're going to go over the background on fixed income and bonds, and then we're going to do a detailed example, continuing where from week 1 where we looked at a bond, but actually look in detail on how we compute everything. So the nature of long-term debt. We're basically looking at where we need funds. So funds may be required by a company to finance its operations. It can come internally, and that is being by earnings or retained earnings, or it could come from an external source, which is equity or debt. Present value of its related cash flows, discounted effective rate of interest rates of issuance. So we're talking about a bond, and we're saying, for an accounting purpose, a bond is basically recorded at its face value. We're going to look at that a little bit more. What does that mean? But we have to distinguish between the investment and the bond, because I know the first chapter we did was chapter 12, and that was investment. So now, a bond is we were talking about from the asset side before. Now we're talking about from the liability side. So we have the issuing corporation is obligated to pay. So they always say the issuer. The issuer is that corporation that issued the bond that, got cash and now has to pay a face amount at a specified maturity date. So this is the par value, the principal, the stated amount or maturity value. Basically, the way I look at this is what they have to pay back, right? No matter what the issuing amount is, right? This is what they have to pay back, right? So that's another thing to really pay attention to. And then the interest, we have the stated rate, the coupon rate, or nominal rate. So it's just a vocabulary. Okay, the bond indenture is the legal document that describes all the little details of what's happening in the bond, whether it's the maturity date, the interest rate, the coupon rate, the number of payments per year, and it could have other types of covenants or agreements, specified terms that are in there. Types of bonds. So we have debenture bonds, secured only by the full faith and credit of the issuing corporation, so no collateral. Then you have mortgage bonds, which is backed by a lien on a specified real estate. Due to less risk, typically commands a lower interest rate. Convertible bonds can be converted into shares of stock. So this is primarily what the types of bonds are. Callable bonds, that means the issuer can buy them back basically at a certain price or a certain date prior to maturity. And the call price must be pre-specified and often exceeds the bond's face amount. Okay, serial bonds retired in installments during or all part of the life of the issue, with each bond having its own specified maturity date. So these are the specific bonds that are out there, and more so to speak in terms of really taking out fixed income. There's also there's corporate bond, there's corporate debt, there's mortgage debt, there's U.S. Treasury debt, commercial market debt, and then there's the municipal market as well. And that is really the fixed income overlay that we're looking about. And in the next video, we're going to go over a specific example.